Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue. We're going to be talking about the CliftonStrengthsFinder strength of connectedness today. So if you're the kind of person that thinks everything is connected and we're all here for a reason and there's a purpose and we need to be careful with one another and treat each other with kindness and be responsible, then this is a great video for you. Just a reminder, in the description below is a link to my website, tomlahue.com. I do offer Enneagram coaching. I have a program called Present to Life. The challenges of life can get to us after a while, and sometimes we can lose our sense of purpose and become, maybe disengaged with life and disengaged at work and not really see our way forward. And, relationships can be a challenge as well. And if you've kind of fallen out of that friendship kind of love and are stuck in, a difficult place in your relationship or your marriage, please reach out to me. I would love to work with you. Okay, so let's jump into this strength of connectedness. Now, I actually scored really high on this. This was number 4 out of the 34 different strengths on the Clifton StrengthsFinders. And if you're familiar with Clifton StrengthsFinders, there's 4 different domains. And I'll put those up on the screen right now just as a reminder to you. And this is under the strength of relationship building. So this is one of the strengths that we need in order to have better relationships with people and to see the relationships between things in life. And so let's dive into this strength of connectedness. Now I've got my card, I've got my book, and I've got my notes, and let's look at these. Okay, so let's look at connectedness. Connectedness, it says, people who are exceptionally talented in this strength of connectedness have faith in the links among all things. They believe that there are few coincidences and that almost everything and every event has meaning. So you tend to see the big picture. You tend to see things holistically. My guess is a lot of these people are going to be intuitive types on the Myers-Briggs, the N versus the S, the sensing types, which I know I am. But this is what it says about it. I am, and here's the statement, I am incredibly aware of the borderless and timeless human family. So seeing yourself as a part of a bigger connection of people, or seeing yourself as a part of a bigger group or a bigger world of people. I will integrate these parts into the wholes. I bring an appreciation of the mystery and wonder of life and all creation. So this sense that I don't have to have everything sorted out. We're all in this together. We're taking care of one another. We're all related to each other. I have to be kind to you, and you should be kind to me, and we should be kind to everybody and treat other people with compassion and respect and never exploit people, because anytime we would exploit someone else, we're actually bringing harm back to ourselves. And so this sense that we're all in this relationship together, we're all moving in some kind of cosmic mystery together, and we're all part of a larger. Now this could sound a little, to people who don't score high in this probably sounds a little new agey or a little woo-woo, that kind of feeling, because they tend to see themselves as individuals all functioning with other individuals. But people who score high in connectedness see us all as like one big grand family. There's good and bad in the family, yes, but we're all related to each other and we all should be careful with one another. I need, and here's the requirement, I need to be a part of something bigger than myself, a family, a team, an organization, a global community, a cosmos. And so you can see where, for my background, like with faith and ministry, but you can see where this fits that and helps me to see myself as a part of a larger, grander scheme. This church that has gone through the centuries and expands across the world. And even though we might not all meet together, we're all connected to one another in this Christian brotherhood. But there's a lot of other ways to see this connectedness, maybe in giant organizations. Even if you're in a small organization, to see yourself relating to all these other organizations. I love or value circles of life and threads of continuity. I hate an us and them mentality. So it can be hard maybe to be a competitive type of person when you are so connected oriented. I know for me, I never did well in like competitive sports or competitive expectations because I didn't really want to win over somebody else. Like I'm very much in that mindset of like, why can't we all just enjoy it, have fun, and why do we have to keep score? Like what's the point of this keeping score? And people that are very competitive, this would drive them crazy. But I know like nothing more fun than playing kickball or dodgeball with a group of friends, and it's just for the enjoyment of the game. It's just for the enjoyment of the experience, playing volleyball with family and friends. And there's always those people who are, very focused on who's winning and who's losing. And people who are scoring high in connectedness probably aren't going to see it that way or see the importance of that. So hating that us and them mentality. I can look down, for example, as a pastor, I can look down the street at the church down the road from us, and I don't think like we're in competition with them. Like we're trying to compete with them in order to gain, clients or to gain parishioners or to gain congregational members. I always think of it as like, no, we should work together. We're in harmony with each other, and they're going to do some things very well, and we'll do other things well, and we're there to support each other, and we're there to work together. And I'm always surprised and disheartened and let down when others don't have that same perspective, when they do see it as an us versus them, one wins, the other loses mentality. Because I certainly don't see it that way. I see it like, well, they have certain things that they offer that they do well, and if you're looking for those things, then you should go there, and you should support them. We'll have other things that we do well, and it's just a matter of what's best for you, and I honestly want whatever is best for you or your family. Not what is necessarily, going to make us the winners in this exchange. The metaphor is a person, seeing yourself as a person of mind, body, and spirit. Notice like 3 different things, but all unified together and integrated into one. Like my hand is my body, but my foot is also my body, and they're all connected together to benefit one another. And using that as a metaphor, in fact, if you score high in connectedness, you probably think like I do in metaphors. When I'm coaching people online and they're telling me their story or they're telling me their problem, often what comes in my mind is a metaphor. And I'll say, well, yeah, you kind of sound like a school bus driving around town, taking care of everybody else, but who's taking care of the bus? Who's making sure that the bus gets cleaned out, the bus is serviced? And so a lot of times when people talk to me, I can't help but see their problem in terms of a metaphor, and I'll usually share the metaphor. I'm like, the image that's coming to my mind when you talk, and it's that synergy or that connectedness, I think, that helps me to see the world in that way. And so the image or the metaphor for somebody who scores high in this is they tend to, like a human body that's all working together for the ultimate good of the body. They see the world as individuals, or their organization as individuals, or their team as individuals who should all be working together and creating this synergy, working together for the benefit of everyone. And, we could get frustrated with people who don't see it that way, who like, no, I need to stand out. I need to perform and prove and stand out and be the best. And I understand that. And there's, I guess, times when I feel that way, but certainly I would favor this approach, this collaborative approach. The barrier is you could be perceived as somebody who is flaky, a new ager, not in touch with reality. Like, hey man, Tom, come on, the world doesn't really work like this. It's great that you care about other people. It's great that you prioritize them. But at the end of the day, if you want to sell cars, at the end of the day, if you want to sell microchips, at the end of the day, if you want to sell these things, then you can't be all that concerned and worried about this other person. You just got to, seal the deal, make the sale, and move on. And, if they get exploited or then they're a sucker, it's on them. And so, people who score high in connectedness, they might be perceived as somebody who's, flaky, new ager, not in touch with reality. Okay. Let's move on to this book. All right, so let's look a little bit at this book, Tom Rath, StrengthsFinders 2.0. And what he says about connectedness is people who score high in connectedness, they believe that things happen for a reason. Now that fits in really great with my Christian worldview. is that there is this overarching plan. There's this creator behind the scenes, working all things toward an ultimate end. But even if you don't have a strong religious or spiritual background, there's still this perspective for people who score high here that things are happening for a reason, and you are a part of it. You are sure of it because in your soul you know that we're all connected. We're all individuals, but we're all a part of something larger. So we're all like these parts of a machine that are all working together to accomplish something greater in the world. You gain confidence by knowing that we're not isolated from one another, but we're on this earth and we're all connected together and living, in this big thing together. Implies certain responsibilities. If you think this way as a connected person, then there's certain responsibilities that I have to take care of other people. I need to work for social justice. I need to make sure that people are taken care of, that needs are met, and they tend to be bridge builders, trying to connect people that may see things very differently, valuing all the perspectives, sensing the invisible hand. You can give others comfort that there is purpose beyond the ordinary or beyond the humdrum details of life. You know who you are and you know who you aren't. You know you don't have all the answers. You're part of something bigger. A commitment to achievement is enhanced. And then I've got some notes here that I put together. And these notes are available if you sign up for one of my courses on CliftonStrengthsFinder. All these notes, 4 pages of notes, are all included with every one of these videos. So go to my website, tomlahue.com, check out my on-demand courses, and I'm always updating this. I've got 2, at the point of making this video, I've got 2 Clifton StrengthsFinders courses available. You can bundle those together, but now this is the 3rd course on relationship building. So let's go over this according to my notes. And some of this will be repeat of what we've already said, but some of it will be new. So seeing an interconnectedness of all things, they're part of something larger than themselves. They see the link between individuals. They believe that life is lived in a web of relationships, that we all have impact on one another. Every action, event, or person is part of a larger intricate system, and there's a purpose behind everything, even if it's not immediately apparent. And so living with this sense that, we're part of a grand scheme, we're part of a bigger web of relationships, it does give a sense of confidence. To me, it gives me a sense of confidence that that I'm a link in a chain. Like there's all these people in the past that have come before us and they've built and established and they've passed all this great information to us. And now we are responsible to be a link in this chain to pass that forward to the people that are here and that are coming after us, and to leave this world a better place than we found it, with a sense of duty and a sense of responsibility to take up our position, to take up our part, to play our part in this band, playing our part to create this ensemble, this wonderful privilege we get to share in making this world a better place. So a deep sense of belonging. Those with a connected strength feel an intrinsic belonging to the universe, that everyone and everything has a special place and a purpose in this grand scheme of things. These people often have a strong spiritual or philosophical perspective, seeing the connection among all people, that we're all interconnected with one another. They typically have a strong sense of empathy and compassion. I know I do. And a compassionate, empathetic approach toward other people, caring for individuals, genuinely concerned about the well-being of others. Now, I have to admit, as a 7, I will demonstrate care to people, and they will tell me their story, and then I'll walk away, and sometimes it's hard for me to hold on to those details, or it's hard for me to hold on to those facts. I think something happens as a 7, I just kind of offload even like important information sometimes, or people, and I feel bad about that because I walk away and after a couple of days, I'll forget that I had this conversation. This person's going in for surgery, or this person's having, this extreme physical problem, and I will be 100% there in the moment with them, offering support, offering compassion, feeling very sympathetic, almost to the point of tears, sometimes getting chills, talking to people. I'll walk away and something happens, it just kind of gets offloaded. And I don't know if it's because I'm a 7 or it's because I have ADHD. I don't know what it is, but maybe you can relate to that. I feel awful about that, but it just kind of happens. If I don't write it down, I don't put it on my calendar to follow up and check on this person, it just kind of like disappears from me. And I can be fully engaged in the moment. A sense of social responsibility. Okay, we've already talked about that. And I think one of the things that people that score high in connectedness can do for others is to foster team unity, to help the teams that you work on to see themselves really as a team. Like every one of us needs to work for the common good. Every one of us needs to work for the encouragement of others, and that we're all here to play a special role. Yes, we all have this, significance, but our significance pales in comparison to the unity and the harmony of the team. And so we all have this sense of purpose of working together. We might make great advisors. You could probably be a very good supporting person, encouraging person. Think counselor, consultant, and those kinds of things. Now, let's talk about some of the Enneagram types that might score highly on this. Now, again, I'm a 7. I scored really high here, but I don't know that every 7 would. I think some would, but I think the types that come to my mind that would score high in connectedness, of course, you can't help but mention type 2s. I mean, literally called the befriender, the connector, the giver, the helper. And I could see where type 2s could score really high in this. They're caring, compassionate people who are motivated by a desire for love and to love others, to help other people. And I think this could incline them toward recognizing the interconnectedness between people and seeing other people as valuable that need to, be supported and encouraged. I think type 4s might score high here. They have a deep sense of identity and personal significance, often accompanied by a longing for connection and understanding. And just their introspective nature of 4s and their appreciation for authenticity and their depth in relationships, I think could align with this connectedness theme. I think, of course, type 9s, peacemakers, who have this strong value for harmony and being able to see other people's perspectives and often wanting these other perspectives to work together in some kind of harmonious whole. I think that 9s could score really high in connectedness. I think it would be their tendency, especially 9-wing 1s. I think type 5s, some type 5s, I think you're going to have some, like half and then the other half not, okay? Because some type 5s, they tend to be able to withdraw from the organization and to see the connectedness of different things. 5s tend to move away from people to see the connections between elements or between things. Let's just say it that way. So their deep curiosity about the world and how this world works could lead them to an appreciation for the interconnectedness between people and things. And then maybe sometimes type 1s, maybe their sense of right and wrong and their desire to improve the world, and also, their concern for how their actions might impact others, I think could cause them to score high in connectedness. Now, what can make this challenging for some people? Why would some people not score high here? Well, I think, people who tend to be more skeptical and more rationalistic might not score high in connectedness. Their approach, to understanding the world and prioritizing what you would say empirical evidence, or that which can be seen, touched, experienced experientially, or empirically. I think that people who have that more logical reasoning over feelings, or they put an emphasis more on logical reasoning and rational thought rather than feelings or intuition, and who may be turned off by spiritual things, I think that they could have a hard time with connectedness. Those who focus more on individualism, on standing out and being significant and overcoming obstacles or overcoming others, I think that, I don't mean overcoming in a bad way, I just mean moving ahead of others, or feeling like you're in competition with others and that you have to prove your value and your worth by overcoming them. I think that more individualistic approach could move you away from this collective, connected mentality. Difficulty seeing beyond the surface. Connectedness requires the ability to see beyond the immediate appearance of things and understand the deeper connections between events and individuals. People who are more focused on the surface level of things, who prefer to deal with concrete, tangible realities, may find it harder to engage with this abstract, connected kind of thinking. I think people who have limited exposure to diverse perspectives, who've never been out of the country, who've never sat down and talked with people from other parts of the world, or who have different perspectives, they may have a hard time seeing this connectedness. People who don't have a strong spiritual background, or who are just not into that kind of thing, might have a problem with this. And people who fear vulnerability. Let's just read it, okay? Embracing connectedness can make individuals feel vulnerable, as it often invokes acknowledging a lack of control and placing a trust in something larger than oneself, and trust in the group. Fear of vulnerability or the need to control can create significant barriers to developing this strength. So, how could we work on this? Well, maybe we could try to be more mindful and try to be more reflective, try to expose ourselves to other cultures and other people from various cultures and try to understand their perspectives. Maybe praying for people, cultivating empathy and compassion for others, and maybe being more intentional in our daily life to see the world as more connected. So, an illustration we can end with is people who score high in connectedness, they get a box of cereal, they dump it out, and they may think to themselves, like, I wonder how many people put this box of cereal here, like the farmers, the scientists that create the pesticides and herbicides, and then the factory workers that create the box, and the artists, and then the marketing agencies, and the delivery truck driver who brings it to the store, and then the person that stocks it on the shelf. And all of these wonderful people have all worked together to bring this product to me so that I can enjoy it. We're all connected in this. If that sounds like baloney and hogwash to you, then maybe you don't score high in connectedness. But if you do see the world that way, then perhaps you are a person that sees yourself connected to others in this wonderful tapestry of life, some good, some bad, but we're all working together for the good of humanity and to fulfill God's purpose for our lives. So what a fantastic gift. I hope you scored high in this. If you didn't, well, we're all different and we all bring something unique and special to the table. And hopefully we can work together for the benefit of everyone and see ourselves as a unified organism working for the good of all. And that just shows you my sense of connectedness. Like I said, I scored pretty high in that, and I do see the world this way, and I'm sure it affects everything I do, as well as, wherever you score on all of these as well. Fantastic stuff, so interesting, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.